Hello and welcome. I'm the Theory Detective, and these lessons will uncover the mystery of music theory. Now let's go on to the flat scales. The first flat scale is F major, and the first flat is B flat. So let's start over here. Here's our F major, and there's our F chord. Remember always that the one chord, its root or original note, will be the one chord of the scale, or the one note, or the name note of the scale. So let's find that down here. I have a new red pen. Here's our F on the scale, so I'm going to give that a 1, a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 again, or 8, because it's the octave. Now then, we're going to go down, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So a fifth above is our dominant, that's right here, and a fifth below is our subdominant, and I'm going to give it a Roman numeral 4. We're going to call it the 4 chord. So there's our dominant, and there's our subdominant. And then the 1 chord, of course, is called our tonic, and I'm going to put an I for Roman numeral 1. So we have the 1 chord is F, the 5 chord is E, and that's our dominant, and the 4 chord, is C, and that's our dominant. The 4 chord, so the 1 chord is F, the 5 chord is C, and that's our dominant. The 4 chord is B, and that's our subdominant. Now remember though, F major is a flat scale, so the first flat is our B flat. So right in here, we're going to have to add in a flat in front of the B. Okay? So instead of being B major chord, it's B flat major chord. So let's find that up here. First we have our 1, that's our 1, our F. And then remember that the original note of the chord, the bottom note of the chord, we call the root. We're going to deal with chords later on when they get changed up. But for now, the lowest note is the root. We skip up to the 3rd, and we skip up to the 5th. Okay? And that gives us our nice 1 or tonic chord, a 1 chord or tonic chord, and that is F. There's our F chord. Now over here, this is going to give us our dominant chord, so that's our C chord. We don't have to do any changes for that, but I'll just go ahead and write in here. There's our 5th chord. Here's the root. You skip up, it gives us our 3rd. You skip up, it gives us another 3rd or our 5th. And I'll make that a better T. And then finally, our 4 chord or B flat chord, a 5th below. So right here, we have to add in our flat for B flat. I'm going to go ahead and put a 4 here. Remember, we use Roman numerals when we generally identify them. So there's our 1, there's our 5, and then there's our 4. And make them nice and capital because they're major. Make sure they're nice and capital. So our 4 chord, there's our root. We skip up to the 3rd, and we skip up to our 5th. So the B flat chord, the C chord is our dominant, and our tonic is the F chord. So we have all those 3. Here's the F major. And then here's our F major chord, our 1 chord. Our C major chord, our 5 chord. Our B flat major chord, our 4 chord. Now let's deal with B flat major. B flat actually has 2 flats. It has our first flat, B flat, but then we have to add another flat, and that gives us our E flat. So we actually have B flat and E flat. However, when we draw the scale, remember 1 is repeated at the top and the bottom. So we actually have to flat the B twice. if you take an adjudication like the Certificate of Merit or something like that where you have a written test for theory, then you will need to remember to make sure to put a flat before the both of the B's for B flat major. And this goes the same with E flat or A flat or any of the flat scales that have a flat in its name. So for F major, we're good. But any of them that have a flat in its name, you must remember that the top note has to be flatted as well. Okay, so there's our first flat, B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 again. And remember that our second flat is E flat. So we find that here. There's our E space, so I'm going to add that in, E flat. So our 1 chord would be B flat. I put it over here. It's below the middle C. This is our middle C line. So this is the B below, and that's actually the same as this B right here. So I'm going to add in a flat for that. There's our 1, or our tonic, our 1 chord. And then this is the root. We skip up to the 3rd. We skip up to the 5th, and we build our chord. So there's B flat, there's D, and there's F, and that will build us our chord. Okay, moving on, we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our F chord, on the F line. So we're going to go to here. There's our 5th of this scale. We call that the dominant or 5 chord. I'll give it a Roman numeral 5 or V. Make sure that it's capital. Right here, root, skip up, gives us our 3rd, our A, skip up, gives us our 5th, and that builds our chord. Again, F skips up to A, skips up to C, builds us our chord. And there's our F major chord. So we have B flat, the tonic, or 1 chord, and we have F, I'm going to play it up here, the dominant or 5 chord. And then we're going to go down, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 5th above is the dominant. A 5th below is the subdominant, right here. There's our subdominant. So that's the E flat major chord. Here we are. Now for E flat, we have to make sure that we add in the flat for the E. That gives us our root. I'm going to squeeze him in. We skip up to G. We get a 3rd. We skip up to B. We get a 5th. I can't squeeze him in. Just pretend that says 5th. But remember, the B is flatted, so I'm going to go ahead and add in our flat. So we now have E flat, there we are. We now have E flat, G, and B flat, and that gives us our subdominant or 4 chord. E flat, G, B flat. So right here we have our B flat scale. It gives us our B flat chord, our F chord, the 5 or dominant, and our 4 chord, the E flat, our subdominant or 4 chord. So we have all 3 of those, both in F major and in B flat major. Go ahead and take out your practice cards. F major, the 1 chord in the key of F major is, of course, the F major chord. So go ahead and put that on the reverse side. The 5 chord in the key of F major is the C chord. And that's right up here, our C chord. The 4 chord in the key of F major. And on the reverse side, the B flat chord. Make sure to draw a flat instead of a B. So it has to have a point at the bottom. Don't draw a lowercase b. It's a capital B for major, and then a flat symbol. Don't draw a lowercase b for the flat. And then for B flat major, this gives us our B flat major chord, our 1 chord. 5 chord will be the F major. So 5 chord in the key of B flat major, and that will be our F major chord. And finally, our 4 chord in the key of B flat major, and that would be the E flat major chord, our 4 chord, this one right here. And like the B major chord has 2 sharps, the E flat major chord has 2 flats, the E flat and the B flat, except that one of the accidentals, the E flat, is actually in its name. So go ahead and add those to your practice pile and practice them as much as you can until they become very easy. And as always, have a great day.